2019 Gen 2 Ford Raptor has been pretty phenomenal since I've owned it. I bought it with 59,000 miles. We are currently up to 106,368 miles. Basically, we have put 46,000 miles on this thing in just over 2 years. And I've had a few problems along the way, which if you guys follow along, you would know that. But we have something else going on with this truck, but we also need to address something with this, and that's the plans with the Gen 2, because right now, we're at 106,000. I bought that Ford ESP warranty with like a 3-year, 48,000 mile warranty. So I need to decide, do I go without a warranty or do I extend that warranty? And a lot of you guys know that I'm really big on the Ford ESP warranty, especially with the Gen 2 Raptor, because there's, you know, it's kind of a hit or miss if you're going to have a lot of issues or not. I also think that if you have a 2019 or newer, you tend to stay away from a lot of those issues, but issues could still arise. Let's just break down, though, the first round of problems that I had fixed under warranty on the 2019. Now, when I first bought the Gen 2, I knew it had a few things wrong with it, which I was fine with because I was going to buy that Ford ESP warranty, which I did, and it basically covered and took care of everything that was wrong with this truck. One of the first things that I noticed when I drove this truck and when I drove a lot of the other Gen 2 Raptors that I test drove, the steering was off on them. It just seemed like there was a lot of them with the steering off. So I knew right away I needed an alignment and possibly something else. But the other issues that went on with this truck, and I kind of drove it like that for a little while, for one was the rear tail light. So I did opt to get I think it was like under $100 to add the lighting option to this because I had like moisture / condensation. I think there was some sort of crack and it was leaking in. That was like that, so I got that covered under the warranty. And the other thing you should know is when you're buying the warranty, so say you go in with 17 problems and they're like, yes, it's all covered. Well, you just have to pay $100 that one time. You don't have to pay $100 for each individual item. So sometimes you're kind of better off to maybe wait if you can, and that way you can just add more stuff to that. But at the end of the day, $100 isn't that much. Let's climb under the truck. And a couple of the other items that they replaced this whole control arm because I think I had some bushings up here that were bad. And it was making the truck kind of make like a popping noise, especially like reversing and turning the wheels at like full clock. I would literally hear like a pop / clunk in the front end. So this whole guy got rid of that. They also replaced both of my sway bar end links. So these guys right here, which I kind of had a little slop in the steering wheel. And that's why I didn't even have the truck aligned, because I knew I was going to set it in for warranty reasons. It was either A, pay for an alignment, or B, wait, get all that stuff knocked out, and then that way they would have to align it because they did front end work. The other thing that they had to do to this was they had to repair the front differential. I had no clue that the front diff needed anything. I didn't even take it in for that, but apparently the front diff needed rebuilt, which they did. And some of you guys questioned if they actually rebuilt it because of how fast I got the truck back, because I did get the truck back pretty dang fast. But I confirmed with someone and they checked it out and they said based on some of the bolts that looked replaced, they said they most definitely rebuilt the diff in this truck. When I bought that Ford ESP warranty, I spent like $2,300 on it, said and done. And with the work that I had done, especially on the front diff, it basically paid for itself. Ford should have made these bigger from the factory, and that's exactly why this is one of the first mods I generally do to all my vehicles. My floorboards get destroyed from Iowa weather. Between the snow, salt, rain, mud, the factory floor mats don't even cover the whole floorboard. I've been running the 3W liners in my Gen 2 for some time, but they just released an updated pair for the 2015 to 2020 platform. And one of the updates that they did to it was they added this metal pedal, which basically is kind of like an anti-slip deal because your foot's always resting here for the driver's side. It also adds kind of like a cool aesthetic to it. And honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it looks too bad. And there's two different styles that you can run with these. Right now, this is what I currently have in the Gen 2. And these are basically the same exact design pattern. It's just this one has these little nubs. So if you want to put this piece of carpet down first, and then that way it kind of gives you a little more anti-slip. Otherwise, if you go to this one, they did add a little more rubber to this floor mat here in particular. And just to show you guys, this is the factory floor mat that the Raptor comes with. And see, I hate how this lip doesn't go over. I hate how the gas pedal, there's nothing behind it. And even under the seat, it just doesn't come back far enough. Let's get our new designed one installed. What I really like about these two is they utilize the factory little nubs. Now you can see that we actually have full coverage. It goes all the way under the seat. It's covered all the way behind all of our pedals. This lip is up higher. This lip goes over the plastic molding here. And since they utilize the factory clip-ins, you can literally push these all around and you don't have to worry about your floor mat sliding around. I'll drop the link down in the description below, and then I'll also drop the discount code that 3W has hooked you guys up with. Special thanks to 3W for hooking it up today. But stick with me, we're gonna go check out and see how busy the local trail is right now. That's currently the line to the local trail, aka 7 Brew. It's usually always to the road on the weekend. There's no absolute way that I'm waiting in that line. I waited. That is absolutely insanity, what we're willing to wait for a cup of coffee. As of right now, the Gen 2 is mechanically sound besides one issue, and that's because the last time I'd taken it in to get an oil change, they did mention about a slow little oil leak, and I just kind of like brushed it off like probably nothing, you know, whatever. I'm not too concerned because I still have the warranty left on this, so I'll just take it in and get it fixed. But from what I've researched, I'm pretty sure since it's on the back side, kind of upper, I think it's a cracked valve cover. There's a lot of people saying that the 3.5 liter EcoBoost is very notorious for cracking a valve cover. And there's some guys that have like, hey, just temporarily, they fixed it with JB Weld. I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna get this thing in because I literally have not even 1,000 miles left before the warranty ends. So I've got two things I need to really get done. I need to get that oil leak fixed, and I need to decide whether I'm going to renew the warranty, because if I don't renew the warranty, then we are going to for sure throw a tune on this truck. Let's see if I can show you guys what this oil leak actually looks like. I don't know if we're gonna be able to actually see it or not. I'm not gonna be able to see it from up here, and it's definitely on the back side of the motor. Chances of us actually seeing this without it being on the lift, not likely. Just get ourselves acclimated to the concrete. Yeah, between the skid plates, being on the concrete, not being on a lift, we can't see it. Just take my word for it, it's leaking, probably valve cover. We just need to hurry up and get this thing in before my warranty runs out so I can make some decisions. Now that we're at the crossroads of needing to renew my warranty, a lot of things have been on my mind about this truck. I'm like, do I renew it or do I not? And a lot of people have been asking me if I am gonna get a Gen 3, or they're like, you should buy Gen 3, you should buy a Raptor R. And as of right now, buying a Raptor R just does not sound like what I want to do with this channel. I like keeping with these vehicles, my Gen 1 and the Gen 2, because it's more relatable, because I know a lot of you guys have these. But I have thought about a Gen 3, and I just don't feel like it's time yet. Like, I could definitely go and just sell this, buy one, and it wouldn't even, you know, faze me. But the hardest part I have right now is I love the Gen 2 platform. I love the way the Gen 2 looks. Every time I get into it, especially with the AWE full exhaust, I'm just super giddy about this thing. The cold starts, everything. But the fact that I have this set up exactly how I want it, it's really tough for me to want to even think about getting rid of it, because I'm the type of person where I like to keep a vehicle for some years. I know there's a lot of people that just go vehicle to vehicle to vehicle, and the only thing that I see with that issue is I feel like you're just always chasing the latest and greatest thing. And maybe the selling point for you is you're like, you know what, I drive this so much, I drive out of state, I gotta have just a full reliable vehicle. But at the end of the day, I like to get my use out of a vehicle. My last F-150, I had it for 7.5 years, and I put like over 150,000 miles on it. I just love getting the mileage out of the vehicle that I bought. So right now, like, as a content standpoint, it makes sense for me to potentially think about getting a Gen 3 just to make more videos. But a part of me also wants to see how far I can push this thing, but then the other part of me is like, should I start dailying the Gen 1 and seeing how many miles I can get out of it? Because, you know, everyone knows that the 6.2 liter can go well over 300,000 miles. So I really am curious if I can get 300 out of it, but everything's so subjective, especially with content, because there's always a need for me to switch things. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is actually extending the Ford ESP premium warranty on this thing. Because right now, I don't know how ideal it actually is. There's 4 places on the internet off the top of my head that you can purchase a Ford warranty from outside of your local Ford dealership. So there's Flood Ford, Ziegler Ford, Lombard Ford, and Granger Ford. I originally purchased mine through Granger Ford. They now told me they can't sell a warranty to me because I have over 100,000 miles. So I checked Ziegler, I checked Flood. They both said the same thing. They can't sell me a warranty because I have over 100,000 miles. Even though I'm still under my warranty period, they still can't do it. I got a hold of Lombard Ford. They did say I could still extend it. He just recommended that I wait until I get absolutely as close as possible in mileage to when mine expires. So then that way, because it takes effect right away. Otherwise, if I go past without a warranty, I got to take this thing back in, get a used vehicle inspection, and then they'll sell me another warranty. But the only issue that I'm having right now is Lombard Ford actually sent me a quote. I'm going to throw it up on the screen right now. But I had like the 48-month, 48,000 mile warranty, and I spent like $2,300 on it. Keep in mind, the less miles you have, the cheaper the warranty is. So he quoted me at 106,000 miles. Realistically, I can't even do 36,000 miles. That says NA on the premium care. We're looking at 36-month, 24,000 miles for $3,300. To me, that don't really sound ideal. I'm not too worried about the months because I'm going to run out of mileage before months. So even if I go down to 24-month, 24,000 miles, that's still $2,900 for 24,000 miles. I just don't know if that sounds that great of a deal. If it was another like 48,000 miles for like 2,500 or something like that, I would think I would do it. But right now, the way it's looking, I'm thinking about just testing my luck. And if any repairs come about, then I'll just pay out of pocket. But I'm going to hurry up and get this thing in before it runs out of warranty, to get that oil leak fixed. And I have my buddy who is a Ford master mechanic, and he'll never basically screw me over. So realistically, paying out of pocket for some stuff might be ideal, but then at the same time, it's just kind of a crapshoot. And I could drop down and do like the extra care, base care, powertrain care. But as of right now, I'm kind of just leaning towards possibly just paying out of pocket for any repairs that come about. I'd be very curious to know your guys' thoughts, what you guys think I should do, because to me, for that kind of money, per the miles I'm gonna get, just doesn't seem worth it. So that's the deal with the Gen 2, just trying to decide what route I'm gonna take with it. The Gen 1 will be coming up next because we're gonna be doing a full rear end rebuild, axle, a couple other little miscellaneous things, and basically just getting that thing mechanically sound so I can start hauling the boat with it. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on this whole warranty thing because I'm just leaning towards going without it, and you guys know that I'm very, very like pro Ford ESP warranty, but I don't like that I don't get that many miles with it. So, till next time, peace.